What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Entertainment Channel, guys. Thanks for tuning in. You know you're here on the Entertainment Channel to talk everything sports, primarily Chicago teams, Bulls, Bears, Cubbies, Sox, everybody underneath that umbrella. You know we're here to talk. You get those authentic Chicago takes, authentic Chicago news. So if you're trying to keep up with your Chicago sports team, this is definitely the place to subscribe. So if you haven't already done so, go hit that subscription button. Helps me grow the Entertainment Channel. But likes, comments, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and get it in. But today, guys, as you can already tell, we're in the middle of baseball season. I'm a Cubbies guy. We're talking more Chicago Cubs. They took 2 of 3 this weekend from the St. Louis Cardinals. All-Stars were announced. Reserves were announced. Cubbies got 3 players that have made the All-Star team. Then we also got to talk about who didn't make the All-Star team. If you haven't heard already, Seiya Suzuki, big snub on that MLB All-Star game this year, and maybe a couple more. Maybe Michael Busch you could throw in there. That's probably it. Maybe Nico Hoerner, but not as big names. But we're going to get into all of that. We're going to do a little bit of MLB Immaculate Grid. You already know the vibes, but thanks for coming through, guys, man. I'm excited. If you want to have fun, talk sports, talk Chicago sports, not be too serious, this is the right place to be, guys. I'm 30 years old, a little bit 31 now, grew up my entire life in Chicago, whole life being a sports fan, whole life being a Chicago sports fan. I ain't flipping. I ain't floppy. None of that. I'm not a fan of teams from another state. None of that stuff. We're right there in Chicago. We got Michael up there, Benny the Bull to the side, Cubbies, Wrigley sign over here. There we go. There we go. You see this? This is a real Chicago sports page, right? So let's get into it, man. Cubbies, they took 2 of 3 from the Cardinals over the weekend. Cubs offense came to life, man. They scored 11 runs in both of their wins, 6 runs in a loss, which I really think should have been a win on Saturday. I fell asleep when we were up in the 8th inning. And, of course, that's when the Cubs just kind of totally fell apart. And good reason I fell asleep, guys. I mean, we had a wedding this weekend. We did a birthday this weekend. I had all types of stuff going on over the weekend. So knocked out a little bit on Saturday when I thought the game was sweet. That was a giant mistake. But game 1, Cubs hit a club record, 8 home runs. Michael Busch had 3 home runs of his own. PCA added 2 home runs. And we'll take a look at those home runs, all 8 of them. I'm going to take a look at them right in a minute or two, so stay tuned for that. Game 2, man, like I said, Cubbies were up 5-4 before the bullpen came in. They allowed 4 runs in the 8th inning. That put the Cardinals up 8-5. They ended up winning that game 8-6. Then game 3 yesterday, just an all-around dominant win by the Cubbies. They won 11-0. Of course, the offense was clicking. They had 11 runs. But Matthew Boyd, he struck out 9 people in 5 innings after being named to his first All-Star team. Nico Hoerner, 3 of 4 with 3 runs, and he finished only a home run shy of the cycle. PCA and Seiya Suzuki, they both went 2 for 5. Seiya hit his 25th home run of the season. In Chicago, we were 5 for 18 with runners in scoring position. St. Louis was only 0 of 7. So let's take a look at that box score, man. But just a really good, overall, great weekend for the Cubbies. Should have been another sweep. They came off of sweeping the Guardians. Should have swept the Cardinals, but they blew that game on Saturday. But it kind of is what it is. Cubs offense, though, I'm happy to see them back humming. Things are kind of looking full, clicking. You take a look at that box score yesterday, right off the jump, 1-0, 2 more in the second, 5 more in the third, 2 more in the fourth, 1 more in the fifth, and that gave us that 11-0 lead. And Cubbies pretty much dominate throughout. And big thing for me, big thing for everybody. You see the middle of our lineup here is just straight up producing. Kyle Tucker, 1 hit and a walk yesterday. Seiya had 2 hits. PCA, 2 hits. Michael Busch, 2 hits and a walk. Dansby, 1 hit and a walk. Nico Hoerner, 3 hits. And even Reese McGuire, he had 2 hits. So you see top to bottom, the entire line was producing, and everybody got on base. Ian Happ got walked. Matt Shaw got walked. So you could see just a dominant performance by the Cubbies. And I love seeing that against the St. Louis Cardinals, guys. I'm a 90s baby, 93. In most of my youth, probably up until college, the Cardinals dominated the Central. The Cardinals always kind of owned the Cubbies. My roommate in college, shout out to Berg, shout out to Jake Malberg. He was a big Cardinals fan, and you just always told me, let me hear it over and over and over. You remember those years, Albert Pujols, Yadier Molina, Wayne Wright. They had everybody up there. I mean, you've won multiple World Series during that time. So it felt really good. Yes, not only this weekend to get the wins, but just kind of overall last few years, Cardinals have kind of been dipping. Cubbies have been kind of going the other way. So I was happy to get that victory yesterday. And you see just all the scoring that took place right here and a little bit of everybody and just multiplying it on. It's really good to see those wins where we have 8 home runs in a game. Obviously, that's exciting. That's what I like to see. But then having these games where we're just manufacturing runs, that's what I really like to see. Because when it comes to postseason baseball, home runs, they look good. They get you to the postseason. But really in the playoffs, you got to manufacture runs. You got to prove that you can get people over to the next base. You could steal bases. And that's the thing that I really like about the Cubbies is not only do they have these guys that hit for power, say PCA, Tucker, etc., but all of these guys, for the most part, are running the bases really well. A lot of these guys are stealing bases. Tucker, PCA, Ian Happ, Matt Shaw. You've seen everybody, Nico Hoerner, everybody can run the bases. And to me, that's the sign of a really good team is not only are you able to hit home runs, but you can manufacture runs kind of the old-fashioned way. So big weekend for the Cubbies, man, 11-0. And people were starting to get worried. I was hearing all the chatter, hearing all the stuff going on. You started seeing those Brewers fans, the Cardinals fans on Twitter starting to say, all right, here's the Cubbies. The lead got down to 2 games against the Milwaukee Brewers. But you see we're back up, guys. We're back up 4 games. Milwaukee talking all that shit. Now they're on 4 games behind us. St. Louis, same thing, man. St. Louis crept all the way to second. I was hearing, oh, my God, they're the surprise team this year. All this blah, 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 blah. Telling everybody, come on, relax. We know what the expectations were for St. Louis. Now they're, 5 games over, 500, and 6.5 games after this weekend behind the Cubbies. Should have been 7.5, but we blew that game. We blew that other game on Saturday. So here's this. Go through a quick update on the Cubbies right now. So Cubbies, let's see right here. So right now, let's go. As of today, today's July 7th, Monday, July 7th. Happy 4th of July belated to everybody. But let's go into the Cubbies. So Cubs right now, they're 54-36, still leading the NL Central. They have a 4-game lead over the Brewers and a 6.5-game lead over the Cardinals. They now lead the MLB with a plus 126 run differential, which increased over the weekend when the offense just absolutely exploded all over the St. Louis Cardinals. Next up for the Cubbies, Minnesota Twins. We have them in a 3-game series in Minnesota, with the first game starting on Tuesday. Shota Imanaga making his 3rd start since coming back from the disabled list, and he's going up against Simeon Woods Richardson. So big games for the Cubbies this week. They got, I believe, 6 games left before the All-Star break. Want to close out this rest of the first half of the season really strong. Go into that game. Going to the All-Star game with some momentum. We'll see what happens with some of these starters, but right now we're in a really good position, man. If you would have told anybody in Chicago, anybody in the Cubs organization, hey, by All-Star break or a week before the All-Star break, you're going to be 18 games over 500. You're going to have a 4-game lead in the NL Central, and you guys have the best run differential. And not only the NL, but all of the MLB, every fan, everybody in Chicago, we would have all taken that. So I'm happy to see where the Cubbies are. We had a little bit of a skid for a couple of weeks. We didn't win a series, maybe like a week and a half. But now it looks like we're back, swept the Guardians, took 2 or 3 from the Cardinals. So right now, Cubbies, we're in a really good spot. We're still a couple players away. I'd still at least want a bench hitter, maybe somebody else at third with a little bit more lively of a bat. And we definitely need another starter still. So Cubbies still a few moves away. But, hey, if you're not happy with where we are right now, you're probably unrealistic because anybody would have told me 18 games over, 4-game lead, at this point in the season, I would have taken that in a heartbeat. So go Cubbies. Let's go into that. Right now, we got to take a look real quick, though, at these. The 8 home runs. There we go. I'm like, what am I trying to say? So here we go. 8 home runs, guys. We got to look at all of them. If we're being real, we have to. All right, let's see. All right, I know how to exit full screen. X is now in full screen. Thank you for the update. Cool. Why does it want me to do that so bad? All right. So these are all 8 home runs. Why did it start from the bottom? Oh, it started from the back. Where did it go? What I do? 8 Cubs home runs. Did I not save the right video? All right, they're only going to have Michael Busch's. I want to see them all. Damn, I thought we had one where they had everybody's, but I guess not, guys. I thought there was a video for sure, but somehow they don't have it. But Cubbies, everything right here. You see 8 home runs. They set a franchise record, back-to-back home runs in 3 different innings And Michael Busch clobbered 3 home runs. That was crazy on Friday. So shout out to the Cubbies, guys. There's not a video with all of them, or else I would have showed you. So moving on from the weekend, moving on from the series win, guys. MLB All-Star Game about less than a little bit over a week, 8 days away. It's on July 15th. And as of today, guys, the Cubbies will have 3 players representing them in the All-Star Game. PCA will be starting in center. Kyle Tucker starting in left field. And Matthew Boyd was announced as a pitching reserve for the National League. For PCA and Matthew Boyd, it's going to be their first time in an All-Star game. For Kyle Tucker, this will be his first time in a National League starter as far as the All-Star game, but he did make the AL All-Star team 4 times in 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. The first 3 years as a reserve, and in 2025 as a starter. So that Kyle Tucker move clearly has paid off. PCA starting in center field. He's looking like an absolute stud and NL MVP candidate. And Matthew Boyd, that decision picking him up in the offseason from the Guardians has to be one of the best moves in all of the MLB, and especially for the Chicago Cubbies. He's going to be he's going to be coming in reserve for the game. And there's still a couple of guys that probably should have made the team, but let's focus a little bit on PCA, Kyle Tucker, and Matthew Boyd. So PCA, his stats heading into the All-Star game. Dude has been probably the number 1 breakout star in all of the MLB in the year 2025. That sounds funny. I'm like an old man. So you take a look here at some of PCA's stats. PCA, here we go. P. Crow Armstrong, only 23, which is crazy. But he currently has, he's batting .272, on-base plus slugging .859, on-base percentage of .309, 23 home runs, 67 RBIs. But really the thing for him is just fielding, man. This dude is just absolutely one of the best defenders out there. You take a look at some of his stats. He has no errors this season, which is crazy. 3 assists, so 3 throwouts. And he's just been doing everything. You see all those. If you're on Twitter, every other game, there's a play, what he's doing in the outfield, what he's trying to make all those probability catches where they show how low anybody else would have made it. And PCA makes all of them. PCA catches. Let's see what they got. That's a cool thing about PCA is just watching him play. He's exciting when he's on the field. He's exciting when he's in the batter's box, and he's exciting when he's running the bases. And that's something you really just don't see in all the MLB. So you see something like this. He covered 66 feet in 3.77 seconds. Baseball Savant gave it a 0% estimated success rate, meaning that this type of catch has never been made before. So look how fast right off the bat. And these are the type of plays that he's been making all season. So you might only be hearing about him, how he does on offense, but PCA is a complete player. He runs the bases, gets steals, and he makes every play out in the outfield, makes every throw, does everything the right way. And this is why everybody in Chicago is obsessed right now with Pete Carl Armstrong and everything he does pretty much. See this stat right here. He's made 16.4 of all the 5-star catches in the league this season. There's been 61. So 5-star catches are on 25% probability plays and lower. He has 10 of them. And the only full team that is even close is the Red Sox, and they have 8. So PCA making better plays than other teams are making completely as a roster. Dude, right now, if it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani, he'd be number 1 in the NL MVP racing right now. Let's see. Like, these are just different plays you see throughout the year. Range. Oh, Sam, got him. Got us. Got us. Oh, PCA. How did PCA catch this? How did PCA catch this? He didn't. They got me. They got me, guys. They got me. All right, back to being serious. Just got basically sent held by this random account right now. Let me mute that. That's how I always get copyrighted with that. See, this is another one. You see those stats, and it looks like almost the same. So right here, bink. I don't know how the hell he makes this catch. Then you see the other one, very similar, ranging all the way to his right. Boom. That one was nasty. He just flat out But if you think PCA, all he's doing is hitting, you're wrong. Dude is stealing bases. Dude is out there covering every inch of Wrigley Field, every inch of every stadium. So right now, man, if you're not on the PCA bandwagon, it's never too late, but you can definitely jump on right now. But now, besides PCA, he actually made the All-Star team. We got to talk about Snubs, guys. So I've been looking at it, man, and I think people are saying, every year, this happens in the NBA a lot, but more so probably happening this year for the Cubbies and baseball, and it's sad, is Seiya Suzuki, man. Cubs All-Star Snubs, I've been thinking, you want to say, obviously, I think Seiya's for sure. Then you start looking at people like Michael Busch. Maybe you start looking at like a Nico Hoerner. Early in their season, it was probably Carson Kelly, but he kind of fell off since then. But really, man, it's just Seiya Suzuki, guys. I mean, I wanted to do some little bit of a deep dive. So I started looking into basically all-star snubs this year. And it has to be, for me, far and by most, Seiya Suzuki, this dude was absolutely robbed of an all-star position, snubbed, whatever word you want to use. And these are 3 reasons why Seiya Suzuki was snubbed from the All-Star game. Number 1, he leads the league in RBIs. Suzuki leads all of MLB with 77 RBIs, which it's rare for a player to lead this category and not make the All-Star game. Only Hank Greenberg in 1935 had a similar snub when he didn't make the team, and he had 105 RBIs at the break. Number 2 reason, power production. Seiya's hit 25 home runs, which is 6 in the MLB, with a .551 slugging percentage, and he has an on-base plus slugging percentage of .869. And the 3rd reason, clutch performances. With runners in scoring position, he's hitting .323 with a .677 slugging percentage with 9 home runs and 54 RBIs. He's the first player in Cubs history since Sammy Sosa in 2001 to have 25 home runs and 75 RBIs at the All-Star break. So those are right alone, man. Seiya should be in the All-Star game. The new rules, I get it. One person's supposed to represent each team. Kind of like the participation trophy of the MLB, if you ask me. Like, yo, we're going to give everybody at least one representative of the All-Star game. We want to make it fun for everybody. How about you earn the spot? Like the White Sox, they're in our city. They suck. Let's be frank. They don't deserve any All-Star to be on the team. If the Cubs were that bad, we wouldn't deserve anybody to be on the team. So MLB, you got to get rid of that little trophy participation, little kid rule. Every team does not deserve to have a representative. Every team does not deserve to have an all-star. I know everybody's got to agree with me on that. I mean, unless you're one of those like, everybody deserves a chance, blah, 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 blah. I get it. But if your team's not good, you shouldn't have an all-star team. Maybe they should make the owner sell, but let's go back over it. So 3 reasons Seiya Suzuki was snubbed from the All-Star game. Number 1, he leads the league in RBIs. He has 77 RBIs leading the major league. Leaving the major league. He has, let me start over. Seiya, 3 reasons Seiya Suzuki was snubbed from the All-Star game. Number 1, he leads the league in RBIs. 77 RBIs right now, leading all of Major League Baseball. The only player to not make the All-Star game after leading the league in RBIs was Hank Greenberg in 1935, who had 105 RBIs at the break and still didn't make the team. Number 2, power production. He has 25 home runs, tied for 6th in the MLB, and he has a .551 slugging percentage and an .869 on-base plus slugging percentage. The 3rd reason, clutch performances. Dude is hitting .323 with a .677 slugging percentage with runners in scoring position. And with runners in scoring position, he has 9 home runs and 54 RBIs. The first player since Sammy Sosa in 2001 with the Cubs to have 25 home runs and 75 RBIs before the All-Star break. So dude's leading the league in RBIs. Power production is crazy. And he's done nothing but be clutch all season. That's why I say it has to be in the All-Star game, guys. Maybe there'll be some subs. Maybe there'll be some replacements. If Seiya doesn't make that team, it's an absolute disgrace, absolute slap in the face to all Chicago Cubs fans, man. So Seiya, I really hope you still get that nod. And if it's not coming soon, then we've been robbed. We've been stolen everything from us, quite frankly. You got to make Rob Manfred make the call, get Seiya into the game. You want to talk about the international, whatever, that Shohei Ohtani wins MVP, gets all his international love. Seiya Suzuki, also an international player, international all-star. He could be. So get him in that game. Then as far as snubs, man, there's another one I was taking a look at. It's Michael Busch, man. You'd be surprised. You start looking at stats right now. Michael Busch is going crazy. He's got some pretty elite offensive metrics. Let's see. He's batting 297, on base 384, on base plus slugging 566. Or no, on base plus slugging 950, which is fifth amongst all first basemen. He has a 162 wins above replacement, which is fifth in the MLB behind. Wait, hold on. Let's see real quick. Make sure I got that right. In baseball, we got to get these things right, guys. We're here. We're typing. We got everything at our disposal. Weighted runs created plus. See, I thought I put WAR. It's WRC. That's the thing with baseball. So many numbers out here. But weighted runs created plus 162 behind only Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Will Smith, and Shohei Ohtani. His 170 OPS plus 572 slugging percentage were better than all-star first baseman Freddie Freeman, Pete Alonso, and Matt Olson. And Michael Busch, breakout season, 18 home runs, 56 RBIs in 84 games. So he's pretty much outproduced a lot of his peers despite having fewer plate appearances. And his 3.4 WAR highlighted his overall value to the Cubs. Shout out to Grok for some of this info. You guys aren't using Grok or ChatGPT already? Get out there. They'll give you a good little synopsis on everything. And just to give you a comparison, man, Busch's stats better than Matt Olson, who made the All-Star team for the Braves. But like I talked about that, every team gets a rep rule is probably why Matt Olson made it, especially because they're playing the game in Atlanta this season. So Michael Busch, definitely a snub, man. I'm excited to see what he could do the rest of the season. Brought him over here from the Dodgers. We gave up another lefty bat, Bellinger, to get over there, and Michael Busch, to me, has completely surpassed all expectations and kind of solidified himself as the everyday starter at first base. They were doing a lot of rotations beginning the season, and maybe against lefties, he still might not get the nod all the time. But to me, he's kind of solidified himself as our first baseman this year. All right, man. So we've talked all the stuff we could talk about today. Cubbies took 2 or 3 from the Cardinals. I'm still pumped up to see what's going on the north side. St. Louis, suck it. Milwaukee, suck it. All-star snubs, that's really what hurts. We talk about who made the All-Star team, PCA, Kyle Tucker, Matthew Boyd, but the people that didn't make it. Seiya Suzuki, I'm still just stunned he's not on the team. I know the DH is pretty heavy lifted in the NL. Michael Busch also definitely could have made the team. First base stacked, especially with star quality names. But Michael Busch been deserving, especially if you're a Cubs fan. I think he deserves to be in that game. And now to round out the game, let's do something fun. We got to do the Immaculate Grid, guys. If you guys haven't done it, I've done this before a couple times. Jump on ImmaculateGrid.com. They got baseball, basketball, everything you see up here at the top. Basically, you got to pick 2 players, name them on here, and then the last one. So let's see. Who was this? Cleveland and the A's. That one we'll do last. New York A's and New York Mets. We'll do Mike Piazza. That was easy. Cubs and Indians. Who's been on both teams? This could be an easy one. Not easy, but Kenny Lofton. Cubs and Mets. Or no, we'll do A's and All-Star. Oh, no. A's that made an All-Star team. That's pretty easy. Barry Zito. Going with Barry. Cubs that made an All-Star team. Koska. All right, let's see. Played for the Mets and the Cubs. Did Fred McGriff, I think? Oh, no. Phillies and All-Star. This one's pretty easy. Ryan Howard. We'll do that in there. What? All right, let's see. Philly or Cubs and Mets. Who played for both of us? Quintana. Phillies, A's, and Cleveland. Oh, my God, bro. I know that he did, right? No. Phillies and Cleveland. Why can I not remember? Oh, that's an easy one. Tell me. Jim Thome. Mets and Phillies. Mets and Phillies, Mets and Phillies, Mets and Phillies. God, this is so hard. Mets and Phillies, Mets and Phillies. All right, let's see. Mets and Phillies, Mets and Phillies. Who played for Mets and Phillies? Mets and Phillies. Bro, there's so many, and I hate when I just can't remember. A's and Cleveland. I'm going to just guess. Average score. What was my average score? Coco Crisp. That's a good one. Bryce Harper. Oh, I didn't even think about that one. Maybe later. Wow. All right, it was a close one, guys. Got 6 out of 9. Can't even complain. I thought you got more. I'm so salty, though. I was like, all right, I'm going to get a couple of chances here. Possible answers, 260. This is the part that hurts when you come look here. You're like, ah. Oh, yeah, I could have had one of those. Orlando Cabrera. There's so many. It's crazy when you see how many options there were, and I'm like, how the fuck did I not get there? Bobby Abreu, that should have been one. Asdrubal Cabrera. See, I think I was going to go there. All right, guys, whatever. We came close. Immaculate grid, man. We'll clap it up. Where we at, though? Clap it up. We got 6 out of 9. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. 6 out of 9, 6 out of 9, 6 out of 9. And that concludes another video here on the entertainment channel, guys. If you're still here right now, you're real. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment, hit subscribe. But I'm checking out, guys. Remember, when you're on the entertainment channel, you got to remember to always go crazy. Don't be lazy. And don't be doing nothing fugazi, y'all. Deuces.